to the 9/11 War Room, a weekly roundtable discussion that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in at 911warroom.com.
Again, welcome everybody that just joined. Let's do it. Welcome to the 9/11 War Room. My name is Gene.
My name is Sandra. Today is Sunday, June the 14th. I believe it's Trump's birthday. And it's episode 239.
Yes. Yep. Let's get started with the news. And we'll truly honored that Phil Tourney has joined us. Thank you, sir, for joining. We'll get to talk to him here shortly. Let me just get through some 9/11 news items. First news story, broken promise. Federal staffing cuts delay medical care for 9/11 survivors still battling health issues. This is an interesting article. It says federal staffing cuts made by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, have hollowed out the solemn promise for 9/11 survivors. Congress now has promised that the staff will be returned to the program dedicated to 9/11 survivors, but it will take time for the program to ramp back up to full speed, as it faces a backlog created by nearly 18 months of understaffing. During that time, survivors suffered, critics told Investigate TV. This is a great quote by John Field. He says, "Never forget is a watered-down slogan now. It's commercialized," said John Field, founder of Feel Good Foundation, an organization to help assist 9/11 survivors and volunteers. "Survivors have been let down by the federal government," he said. "A lot of them are going to come to ground zero on the anniversary of 9/11 and stand there on the solemn day, and it's disingenuous," he said. "It's an insult to those who lost a loved one. It's an insult to those who lost a loved one on that day, and it's an insult to those who are suffering." I find it really interesting. There's a video that goes along with this. What's really interesting, when I do my news search, I do basically go to the Google's news searches and look. This article, it's the one with the lungs, never forget. It was repeated 40 times. I've never seen a news article repeated this many times in a news cycle. So there's some reason that they're pushing this, probably because it's the 25th anniversary. But I'm going to speculate, and forgive me for this speculation, but part of me wonders whether or not they kind of want all these survivors and those who were there with these cancers to die off. These people have a lot of information. They have a lot of critical information that we might still need, and they're in no hurry to try to help these people or trying to put them off or whatnot.
But why would you say that the story appeared as often? You think that there's pushback against that to make sure that the story doesn't go away?
That's a good question. I don't know. We'll open that up to the table a little bit.
They're just pushing it because, well, again, just pure speculation. They want to focus on that. They want to focus on, those who are still the victims, which of course they should. But maybe by putting this in the spotlight, it detracts from the quote unquote conspiracy theories that they assume are going to start popping up around this time. So maybe it's just to put the focus on that.
Yep. Let's keep rolling with the news. Next news story. Oh, I didn't want you to see who presented it yet. The title is 25 Years After 9/11, Reviewing the 9/11 Commission and Intelligence Reform Impacts. Goes on to say in this article, today the counterterrorism architecture built after 9/11 is eroding through budget cuts, personal losses, and the diminution of terrorism as a national security priority, recreating the conditions of under-resourcing, and geez, I'm having a rough time today, and institutional neglect that preceded the 2001 attacks. Moreover, the terrorist threat to Americans has both changed and grown. The most easily accessible and urgent structural problem concerns the National Counterterrorism Center within the Office of Director of National Intelligence, whose statutory mandate bars it from acting against domestic threats. Sounds like they need to go after domestic threats. Even as the line between foreign and domestic terrorism has dissolved. Data from the National Institute of Justice and the Anti-Defamation League alike confirmed that right-wing extremists now account for the majority of terrorist killings in the United States, a category conspicuously absent from the 2026 National Counterterrorism Strategy. Congress should revisit the NCTC's foundational authorities to bring domestic threats within its analytic and coordinating remit and this is the best part, provided that robust safeguards for civil liberties and legislative oversight accompany such expansion. And who presented this article? Who's so concerned about our intelligence failures? The Council on Foreign Relations. This is, I think they're just looking for a power grab to go after domestic terrorists, which are all of us that are fighting for the truth, for justice, for 9/11, the USS Liberty, JFK, and other things like that. So,
well, they're going against the protesters of AI data centers now, because those are the most recent inductees into the Hall of Fame of domestic terrorists.
To follow up with that, the famous quote from Ben Franklin, they that can give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Next news article. This is from Spectrum News 1. It says the 9/11 Memorial and Museum launches a new education campaign. As the city approaches the 25 years since September 11th attacks, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum has launched a new public service campaign to educate those who were born after that day or too young to remember what happened. Beth Hillman, CEO of the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, joined News All Day to discuss the campaign with NY1 anchor Sheenan Ferry. And basically, it's propaganda. They're looking to educate the public. And if you go to the website that they have, neverforget.org, this is what we're up against in the propaganda machine. 20 million students learning through museum workshops, virtual field trips, and online programs. Another 11 million visitors coming each year to remember, reflect, and learn the sacred space. I don't want to detract from truly honoring those who passed away, but we have to watch because they're wanting to share the official story. And again, just because Phil's here, I also want to point out, we've heard over and over that the USS Liberty was attacked on accident, the official story, and that's not the truth. And what we know about 9/11 from the official story is not the truth. And they continue to put out these false narratives, and this is how they're doing it. And they're asking for money to continue to do that. Same kind of thing, other news article. This one I couldn't get to because it's behind a paywall, but it says Arlington 9/11 panelists recount attacks and urge proactive public safety approach. And the subheading is educating people about September 11th terrorist attacks and the long-term impact of the tragic and historic event is always one of the Pentagon Memorial Fund's main missions. But there is an added importance this year, not about memorial and remembering the people and working on that, but that they want to educate the public on the official story at the Pentagon. So again, that's troubling, and I do appreciate that TAP has a project that they're looking to get into about getting a curriculum or some type of working with the young people and trying to get them the information of what we truly know to be the truth. Next one. Before taking Pentagon press trip to Cuba, Larry Loomer said U.S. may need another 9/11. She says here, or he says, whatever. So I think I've given enough evidence and enough examples. Maybe, just maybe, it's not such a great idea to allow Muslims to be involved in our political processes in America. Maybe, but I guess I don't know. Maybe we need another 9/11 because I guess those clips right there and those people in their own words isn't going to be enough to convince the Democrats. Again, the constant infighting, and just newsflash, Muslims didn't have anything to do with 9/11. It says on here also, in 2024, Trump invited Loomer, who has spread conspiracy theories about 9/11 terrorist attacks, to join him in a ceremony memorializing the victims of the attack. If you go to the link on these conspiracy theories about 9/11 that Laura Loomer shared, it says here in the article, she's well known for anti-Muslim rhetoric and for spreading conspiracy theories involving the 9/11 attacks were an inside job carried out the U.S. government. But if you go back to X and look at what I call, it's Larry Loomer. I'm sorry, I just remember. Lucky Larry Loomer. It says, I never said 9/11 was an inside job. It's a blatant lie. In fact, I'm aggressively outspoken about the dangers of the Islamic migration and have said if we don't close the border, we will have many more 9/11 events. That's just one statement. Another one goes down later and says, Why did you lie tonight? Deceptively cut off my actual tweet during your show. Nowhere in my actual tweet does it say 9/11 was an inside job. But if you go back to the tweet that she or he is talking about, this was posted back in June 24th of 2023, and it was the Donald Rumsfeld about the lost or unaccounted for $2.3 trillion the day before 9/11. And it's a good clip, but I must stress that Larry Loomer has never in the history been supportive of the 9/11 truth movement. It was just maybe this one post, and the reason that they're saying that he said that it was an inside job was at the very end of the video. It came up and said 9/11 was an inside job. Larry Loomer would say, I never said it. It was just in the video there. And it really just appears that this person comes off as a controlled opposition. Just a reprehensible person, in my opinion. I'll just leave it at that. Speaking of reprehensible people, listen to what Jimmy Dore says about Erica Kirk, and I'm going to loop this back into 9/11 in a second. I believe I am. Let me hang on. I don't think I shared my sound. Forgive me while I do this real quick. Here we go.
Erica Kirk is repulsive to people, and they see right through her, and she can't hide it. She doesn't have any training on how to be an actual human being. She only has training on how to be a psyop, which she is. What I like to say, if the CIA had a vagina, she came out of it. Ouch. I mean, what?
That was pretty harsh, but yeah, Jimmy Dore's not afraid to make some stark and cutting statements. He also made this statement recently with Tucker Carlson that we reported last week, but we missed that he continued to talk about Building 7 with Tucker, and Tucker made this compilation. I'm just going to play the whole thing. Here we go.
I saw Building 7. First of all, it was broadcast 20 minutes that had fallen down by BBC before it ever fell.
The Salomon Brothers building collapsing, and indeed it has.
You're like, wait a minute, this building that wasn't hit by a plane hit a building 200 yards away from it.
Very far away. Yeah.
And then it fell into its own footprint, like out of sympathy for the other buildings. And so that's when I knew something was up. You know, whenever you're not allowed to question something, that's when you know they're up to something.
Of course.
So hats off to Jimmy Dore. I say that because we now have confirmation. Jimmy Dore is going to speak at the 25th event that we're going to have in New York City. In addition to that, dozens of speakers, including 9/11 family members, first responders, researchers, journalists, advocates, and public officials confirmed. So far, we have Jimmy Dore, Roger Waters, Bret Weinstein, Meryl Nass.
You just glossed over that. Roger Waters.
Sorry.
Did everybody hear that? Roger Waters, who came out in support of 9/11 Truth and the Matt Campbell case last week, and we showed the clip of that.
Yep.
Roger Waters, yes, Pink Floyd, everyone. You don't have to love rock music to know who he is. He's a giant, an absolute giant. He's well respected. He has spoken up very strongly in support of Palestine and Gaza, and defending all of that and taking a lot of heat for it.
Okay, here we go.
We assumed that he was on board with 9/11. We did not know for a fact that he was until he agreed to support Matt Campbell. And now he has agreed to come and speak at our 9/11 anniversary event in New York City. Probably on the 11th itself. That would be his preference. They're in discussions about this. But hey, man, Roger Waters, that's all I have to say. And we're still waiting for other big names, but this is a big one.
We wished he was there, and he's going to be uncomfortably numb about it. Sorry, that's really bad. But anyway, very, very cool. And I believe Phil is also going to be speaking. So we're looking forward. Who else was on that list? Let me jump back there real quick. Meryl Nass, Mary Holland.
Mary Holland is behind the Children's Health Defense Organization.
Yep. Mark Crispin Miller, Richard, Jason Bermas, Matt Campbell, Bob and Helen McIlvaine, Captain Raul Angulo, former Fire Commissioner Chris Gioia, and Madhava Setty. Are those so far confirmed? There's still some big asks to make yet, but we'll get to those shortly.
We did originally, when we started planning this, the first person to agree to do this was actually Ian Carroll. And that was really already a huge success just to have him agree to that. We are in tentative communications with him to finalize all of this, so that's why it hasn't been officially announced. He hasn't, put a stamp on it, so to speak. It should just be a matter of time. But Ian Carroll himself, and Dennis Kucinich is coming back. He confirmed that he was. Did we say Bret Weinstein?
Yes.
Yeah. So lots of huge names. It's just been an absolutely amazing ride to see this develop, and we're hoping to sell out the venue as much as possible.
Tickets are going to go on sale Monday, I believe.
Should be Monday.
Should be Monday.
You can go to the website. It's not functional yet.
TurningThetide911.org will get you there. You can see all the speakers. As speakers are confirmed, we'll add to it.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, almost done with the news, and then we'll open up the table. Mick had his call yesterday. Typically on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Richard did a presentation that I've titled "The Explosive Evidence That Dore Cannot Fully Explain." And I asked two questions. I just wanted to share those two questions that I thought myself was profound, but I guess I'm biased. But let's here they are.
He says very humbly.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the first question. Thank you. Richard, if you could just clarify, you're not saying that nanothermite was the sole mechanism for bringing the towers down, are you?
No.
Correct. I just wanted a clarification on that for everyone's.
I'm also not saying that there were no directed energy weapons. I'm just saying that we don't have proof that there was. We have a lot of unusual phenomena that comes nowhere near close to proof that these brought the towers down.
Thank you. There we go. Simple question. And the second one, kind of along those lines. Here we go. Yes. So thank you for answering my first question about nanothermite not being the sole mechanism, nor was Richard trying to say that there was no directed energy weapon. My second clarifying question, Richard, would you confirm that your presentation seemed to be less about discounting the Dore hypothesis and more about showing that a pure Dore explanation cannot fully account for the observed physical evidence at the World Trade Center?
I think that's a fair characterization of my presentation. As you mentioned, I acknowledge that there may be other scientific applications at work here. It's just that what we've presented is irrefutable and overwhelming in terms of its evidence. And every aspect of what I just presented is actively denied by the Dore promoters. And in the book, for instance, explosions are dismissed on page 110 and 153. Hot molten metal is dismissed on page 263 and 295 of the DEW book. No molten iron microspheres dismissed as coming from thermite on page 332. Liquid molten iron dismissed on 270, 370, 465. Nanothermite dismissed on page 122 to 130. The dustified steel is promoted on page 131, which we debunked. And the seismic evidence doesn't deal with the real issues of the seismic, and that's as I dealt with today.
As soon as I get out, let Richard respond here in a second, but it's 5:20. For those that don't know, this is the time when Building 7 fell. I use this as an opportunity to just say a quick prayer for 9/11 justice. So if you guys would just pause with me for a second, say a quick prayer. Lord, come to you right now. I thank you so much for these hearts and minds that continue to fight for justice on a myriad of topics that we just want the truth. We just want justice for the crimes committed that our government, for whatever reason, continues to cover up. I pray that you would guide us, that you would give us wisdom, that you would protect us in these endeavors, and that we would truly see justice in our lifetimes. In your name I pray. Amen. Thank you, everybody. Richard, how do you think that went?
Hi, you just cut off my top remark, which I was about to make. One more sentence.
All right, let me do that. Let me get back in there real quick. If I could find my mouse. Share screen again. Let's let him finish the statement.
And that's on page 73. So while somebody provides a theory for which they really have very little and scant evidence to support, but denies the most irrefutable, overwhelming evidence that we do have, I do have reason to be suspicious.
Yep. He laid out for 2 hours, over 2 hours, strong evidence that explosives were indeed used. You can't really discount them. And I just wanted to set those bases. Now, Richard, any comments?
Yeah, I thought it went really well. For 2 hours, we showed more than 100 witnesses of explosions, all of which are suggested that these rocked the downtown and people rumbling underneath their feet, and yet they're attributed to fire extinguishers and Scott packs by the DEW promoters. So that's why I went in great depth to show these witnesses of explosions, not just 156 first responders, but about 100 more that we got most of yesterday. So I thought it was just very clear. You know, dustification, for instance, is the single most prevalent statement made by the promoters of DEW. And what we showed is that there's no evidence of steel dust in the dust. So if it turned to dust, where's the dust? It's not analyzed in the R.J. Lee analysis or the USGS analysis, which analyzed dozens and if not hundreds of samples. And the magnet test, steel comes up to a magnet. So if there was steel dust there, it would have come up to the magnet. But no, all we have is iron-rich microspheres. I noticed that Bob is here. Hi, Bob. Or was that that was on the video?
Okay, yeah, right.
So anyway, I'm really pleased with the depth we went into. In addition to showing, they said there's no steel down at the bottom, so we showed dozens of photos that show where the steel was. It just distributed laterally out past the way past 600 feet past the perimeters of these buildings. So it's spread out. So anyway, yeah, I thought it went well.
Yeah,
I did too.
I really like the way you drove home you kept bringing up the Scott packs thing, and then you deliver, show some kind of powerful testimony about, like you said, the ground rumbling and the big boom things, and it was clear that it couldn't just have been as simple as that. And I thought that part was really powerful, and all of it was really. And what I really enjoyed also is at the very end, at one point you did start an exchange with Bob Grenier, and it was a very respectful, very factual, cordial exchange. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that, and obviously not nearly enough time to even make any kind of headway about sorting things out. But I would love to see that discussion. And, you may have to bring in a chemist who specializes in things. You can't possibly, as an architect, know all the ins and outs of that. But I think it could be a really good thing.
And Mick it seemed from that they look like there might be more continuing conversations about that topic. So stay tuned for that. I do have these up on YouTube and Rumble if anybody wants to catch it. I will share the links to those in the show notes. And then I do want to add that Mick does these calls typically every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. To get the Zoom link, which is a hard one to remember, it's just easier if you go to 911warroom.com/Mick and you click on that link on that page, and it'll put you right in the call on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I thank Mick for doing these. He's a great host to be able to do this because he doesn't let people get away with attacking other people, and really good.
Or stepping outside the program lines. Not even Gene.
Yep. The last news story I got before I open up the table, AE website, AE 911 Truth's website has been going up and down. I've been in contact with Xander. He says he's actively working on the website. It was up for a couple days, and now I just looked before the show, and it's back down again. So I don't know what's going on there, but the Architects and Engineers for 911truth.org website is currently down right now.
Yeah, so all the doomsayers saying that AE is defunct and has died, that's not true. Just they're just having technical issues, and they were aware of it from day one. So it's being worked on.
Yep.
Not that it's without its problems, but
Right. Yeah.
those are different problems.
Different, yeah.
And for everybody's general knowledge, Xander was in charge of or leading the vetting of the signatories to the AE 9/11 Truth petition, which I think was the greatest project they had going there. Over 3,600 architects signatory to the petition, and he's looking to revamp that because that is hugely powerful to see this.
And not only revamp it, I'm guessing that they have a whole backlog of names
Oh,
that they
sure.
need to add. So once he starts vetting those, those numbers are going to go up significantly. Who knows? Maybe it's over 4,000 by now. Who knows?
All right. With that, I'd like to ask, thank Phil Tourney for being here. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Anything you'd like to share or your thoughts on?
And you don't have to. If you
don't-
want to
yeah.
sit back and listen, that's okay too. I think you're on mute. No,
I shouldn't be.
no,
there
you're
you
not.
go.
Perfect.
There
Okay.
he is.
Hey,
Hi,
well,
Phil.
hey, listen. Thank you guys for the invite, and it's my great honor. I mean, I'm not an engineer or architect, but I kind of figured out a while ago what happened that fateful day, and the prayer you just did for him was so appropriate.
Thank you.
It was, but I'm here to talk about the USS Liberty and what happened June the 8th last week. We were in Congressman Massey's office, and he recognized the crew on the House floor asking for an investigation. That is monumental for us, and we've never had anything like that before. So it was just one of the best things we could ever think of.
Absolutely.
But you talk about hooking everything together. USS Liberty to 9/11, 9/11, excuse me. But all the people see that the wars we've gone through for another country, a foreign country, and they are all tied together. And I want to speak about that more when I get to New York. But it's my honor to be around so many different people. And I think I interviewed Richard Gage on my radio show years back.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm right. You'll have to ask him.
Yeah, I think we
maybe
did.
Yes. Nice to see you again, Richard. And
Yeah,
thank
you
you
too. And
for
I can't
coming
wait to
on.
meet you in person and have you up on the stage. It's going to be incredible, Phil.
Oh, well, thank you all. I appreciate that. I got to mention out to Carl Globin. He was there with us. It was quite an event. And it's just a start. I mean, I always thought the USS Liberty was a spearhead of the bringing down a crooked government. But when you can murder Americans on the high seas and get by with it, you can get by with anything.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing.
Yeah. And then the
This
same thing
since-
for being able to murder a sitting president.
Absolutely.
You know?
I remember when he was killed, I was 15,
Wow.
and it broke my heart. But
And how long before you suspected that things weren't right with that story either?
I didn't think it was right with that story when Lee Harvey Oswald says I'm a patsy, and then he got shot in the gut by Rubenstein. That's when I figured out something was wrong.
That's pretty
Yeah.
astute for a 15-year-old.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a couple clips I want to share for you, Phil, real quick. And we kind of knew it was Carl that got a hold of you because there was no mistaking
There's no mistaking Carl's voice.
Carl's voice. And here is Jamie Raskin. I don't really care for him much, but Thomas Massey in an elevator. Phil is in there, and then there's this other person holding the camera. But we didn't know until you hear the voice.
The attack started, but we were told never to talk about it, or we'd end up in prison or death.
D3, Mr. Massey, thank you, bless you, thank you. Hey, Phil, who was that we just talked to?
Thomas is Massey and Rassi.
Very good. Let me pause.
Right on. Nice job, Carl. Here is a video clip of Thomas Massey basically saying he will introduce legislation to fully declassify all records for the USS Liberty attack.
So, two things that I'm contemplating introducing are to ask for a declassification review relating to this incident. This would be, okay, this is a bill, so it would have to be signed by the president. And then I've got a resolution, does not need to be signed by the president, expressing the sense of the House of Representatives honoring the men of the USS Liberty, urging the declassification of all records relating to June 8th, 1967 attack, and affirming that the lives and safety of the United States citizens and service members shall be paramount in the conduct of United States foreign policy. So,
that is fantastic. It's just good job. There are other clips of the survivors and friends of the survivors in Thomas's Massey's office there.
Cover stuff up.
If you get a chance, I'll put a link of those
and
all this in the
it's
show
a
notes.
global conspiracy to, I don't mean conspiracy theory, I mean conspiracy. When I got the Epstein files released, it caused the prince to lose his title, caused the ambassador from Britain to the United States to be canned. It caused the former prime minister of Norway to get arrested. It caused the minister of culture in France, former minister of culture.
No,
and
that was the wrong clip anyways, but I will find the correct clip and put it in the show notes. Again, hats off to you, sir. Great respect for you still fighting this battle after all these years, and we're behind you.
Great respect to all of you. I mean, it's I'm very blessed to be here. All power go to Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And I mentioned that in my new book, Stay Afloat, and I will plug it here a little bit. If you want to get Stay Afloat, you can get it at philtourneypodcast.com or on Amazon. But this is my fourth book, and I think the very best. And I'm hoping that I'll get the same reaction from everybody else.
I'm curious if you get any.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm curious if you get any kind of backlash, or even just with what happened with Thomas Massey. Do you get people who give you a hard time, who run up against you in any way, or do you find that people are mostly supportive?
That's a good question. More people are more supportive now than even back a few years ago, and I've been doing this over 43 years. Mm-hmm. And I've been called everything, a Jew hater, a Nazi, a nut, wife beater, and an alcoholic.
Wow.
Gosh. So I've taken a lot. I was threatened by a Mossad agent in San Diego. My son was graduating from Buds, Navy SEAL. My wife and I were there. And the guy's got on the right side of me. And he says, "You were aboard the Liberty." I says, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" He says, I know everything about you. He put a big watch in my face. Wow. I told him, "Get that thing away." He says, "Listen, you better stop what you're doing. I'm a Mossad agent. I'll make sure it'll be the end of you." Wow. And then my wife went over the table to break his neck.
Good for her.
I've been through that before, but I'm still here. I'm almost 80, and I can't wait to continue on till I can't anymore. But the truth will set us all free. And I think we all
Absolutely.
know that. And it's been my life's dream. And this book is probably the last one I'll do, but it just means the world to me. And my shipmates love it. And if they love it, it's a good book.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, we
And
can't wait to put you in front of 600 people on the September 11th conference in New York, Phil. It's going to be incredible to have you up there and give you that time to tell your story and to wake a lot of people up.
Yep. And if anybody would like to order the book, and go to philtourneypodcast.com. It's there available. I just have one quick question. I've heard this quote come out a lot. I don't know if you can confirm whether this quote actually happened, but it was from Lyndon Johnson saying, "I want that GD ship on the ocean floor." Was that a true quote by him, Phil, as far as you're aware?
I think that the correct statement was he could give a GD about a few dead sailors. He will not embarrass his ally, Israel.
Yep. 10-4. Phew.
So
Wow.
we were still under attack when they recalled the aircraft, not once, but twice.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
I don't think we can begin to imagine what that was like.
And I'm sure some people have some questions for you if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Sue, what do you got?
Phil, it's really wonderful seeing you here tonight. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And I'm looking forward to ordering a signed copy, the cassette copy set, which I see is reduced. So that's great. How many survivors are left on the Liberty today?
That's a good question. I think there's about 50 or so.
Okay.
At our reunion last week, we only had 13.
Wow.
Most of them can't make it. Or I have one shipmate of mine that went blind, and it's just everybody's dying out. But active, very few.
The truth is slow, but it'll get out. It's getting out.
Before I go to Mikey, I got one other one on Phil's site. If anybody has not seen this documentary, it's on his USS Liberty page, Sacrificing the Liberty. Got to see that. Just fantastic documentary.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, then we're watching that tonight. Yeah.
Oh.
So check that out. Mikey Brazzo.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. This is not a I'm not trying to make fun of our guest here, but he looks just like Mike Ditka. Do you remember that guy, the football coach from the
Yes.
He looks like a lookalike of him, almost like the doppelganger.
The Bears.
Right.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
He looks better than Mike Ditka, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way better.
Do you have a question for him, or was just that it?
No, I just want to say that the quote, the one about I don't give a GD about the boat hitting the one he had said about about a few dead sailors. I second that. That is what the actual quote was. So.
Mm-hmm.
And 4.
That's all.
Thanks, Mike. Carl?
Yes, Phil, do you want to tell the story of our going to the Israeli embassy in D.C. and you're delivering a copy of the War to Boston Declaration, as well as a request on behalf of the Liberty veterans that Israel return the life raft they kept as a trophy of the attack?
Yeah, thanks, Carl. I will. Carl and I were in D.C. December the 16th and 17th, and we walked the halls of Congress, and we also went to the Israeli embassy, and I hand-delivered a demand letter for our life raft back, and also the Ward Boston Declaration, which says, now he was the league counsel on the Board of Inquiry, said that him and Isaac Kidd were ordered by Johnson to find the attack a case of mistaken identity, when the real fact was what he said in his declaration. He says those murdering SOBs, what they did to those guys. But that was official word until the Massey deal. But it was hard at the embassy because I stayed out there, and I told Carl, I says, I'm not leaving until somebody comes out. They finally came out, and they kept their distance like I had the plague or something.
They know who you are. Yep.
Right. They knew exactly who I was. I put my hand across the fence as a gesture of friendship because I want to give them this document. And they finally come up. He shook my hand. I gave him the paper. And I said, we want our life back, our life right back that you took, that you shot out of the water so no survivors would be taken. And it's in Haifa, and I'd like it back ASAP. And after that, we went and talked to the Secret Service. Very kind. I told him what I was there for, and we were on our way. And I appreciate Carl, being greeting me and being with me those several days. It was very nice. Thank you, Carl. But that was much appreciated.
Well, we know about Carl that he doesn't stand down very easily.
We had some fun. The primary reason Phil came to D.C. was Ben Shapiro was speaking at the Heritage Foundation, and I arranged us to have 2 tickets to that. And we were in the second row and planning on Phil confronting Shapiro about the lies he said about the Liberty. And the people at Heritage, it's really shocking. Kevin Roberts is as much a tool of Israel as anybody else, because he let Shapiro at the podium rant about Tucker Carlson for most of the time when they were supposed to be discussing a book by Shapiro. Now, just 2 years earlier, Carlson, pardon my congestion again, but Carlson had been the keynote speaker at the 50th or something anniversary event of the Heritage Foundation. He was honored. And here Kevin Roberts just sat there while Shapiro badmouthed him. And then they refused to take questions from those of us seated. And Roberts refused. I repeatedly requested that he have a personal meeting with Phil Tourney, and they never arranged it. They avoided that. And so Phil, he was very kind to not disrupt the affair by shouting at Shapiro. But the next day or two, we met some congressmen, mostly down at the Capitol Club, a great place to where they all cross paths. And it was an honor to be with Phil and all of the friends at their reunion. I guess it was just a weekend ago in Norfolk, and it was during the first day there that word came out Massey had invited any of the veterans and survivors and their family to visit his office and be in the gallery when he delivered his message. And it was a privilege to join everyone for the round trip bus and to be in the office and in the gallery. And Thomas Massey took all us out to the restaurant just down the street from Canada Office Building. Now, Phil, I wasn't. I intended to be just a fly on the wall in Massey's office, but he began to speak for some reason about 9/11. He referenced, quote, the 19 hijackers, and he expressed great faith in somehow the 28 pages pointing to people culpable in 9/11. And I know you and the survivors understand I was compelled to speak for a few moments about that. I hope the video will come out of that when it's timely and not a distraction from the Liberty's meeting with Massey. But it was necessary to point out to him that the clear presence explosives in those three towers means that the type of entities that controlled what happened that day would not have relied upon 19 so-called hijackers. I told Nass, I hope he'll start referring to them as the 19 so-called hijackers, because it's pretty clear that they did not pilot. There were aircraft were remote piloted into the towers. So, it was an honor to be with you there that day.
Very
Well,
cool.
thank you. I just want to say one other thing, and then I'll let you guys go on with your deal. But my son Bryce and Ray Dowster are the ones that put the Massey meeting together, and we got Rob Carr in there, great guy, to film and video everything for posterity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but great credit to my son and Ray Dowster, and it's okay if you said something. It doesn't, it's not the end of the world, Carl, but sometimes you do go on.
Yeah. I have Sean. Do you have a question for Phil? Yep, you there, Sean? Our hand went down.
Yep, it just took me a moment to unmute here. Phil, thanks for your service, sir. Do you have any idea what type of intelligence the Liberty was collecting during that time?
Not personally, but what I've been told after the fact, because I didn't know I was in ship's company, but the NSA people and the CIA people that I talked to later in life, of course, their mission was listening to all stations. It didn't matter where it came from. But before we got into the med, we were ordered not to pick up any Hebrew or British intercepts. If you did, drop them immediately. So we weren't spying on Israel. We were spying on everybody else.
I think I have one more. Ellie, question for Phil?
Yeah, hi. Thanks so much for just your continued fight for truth. As I'm sure it's super hard. I was curious. You mentioned your son is also was also in the military special forces. I'm curious, like, what his viewpoint, what his like being in special forces, what that's been like for him. In terms of knowing who you are, and also his perspective on 9/11 and trying to get other people in the force to kind of be aware of some of this corruption and the false flags. Any thoughts there?
Yes, well, my oldest son Bryce, he fought in Afghanistan, the 10th Mountain Division. He spent 13 months over there, and now he's got almost blind in his right eye. My other son, he's a Navy SEAL. He's still in active duty, but my relationship with him is father son. We don't talk about politics, and he'd rather not. So that's kind of the deal there. And honor to all servicemen. I don't care what branch they're in. We're in terrible times, and I pray for them. I would hope that peace would come sooner than later, but I think we're sitting on a powder keg, and when it's going to blow, it's going to be even worse than what we thought it was. So,
one more, and I'll get you out of here, Richard.
Phil, this whole operation was designed to bring America into the war that Egypt was at with Israel at the time. Had that succeeded and not failed, meaning had they murdered everybody at the USS Liberty and sent it down, and had that be, and that would be a believable event. I had heard that there was a nuclear weapon like ready to go or something like that. Do you have any confirmation of such a thing?
I do, Richard, and great question. The whole point of the Liberty being in the Mediterranean at that time was to be sunk by the Zionist state, blame it on Nasser, the other Arab states in the Six-Day War. There were nuclear aircraft already in the air before we got attacked. So, and they also had nuclear planes come off another carrier, headed to Cairo to destroy them. And our ship didn't sink, and it put a monkey wrench in the whole thing. And we prevented World War III. Us not sinking saved millions of lives. And that's one of the proudest things in my life is that great ship and great crew saved millions of lives, but we lost a lot of lives, and they should never be forgotten. And
Booyah.
So,
just one last clip for you, Phil, before you leave. It was Candace Owens. She says she reminisces about her most favorite podcast she's ever done
with a fellow podcaster, and we were just talking about interviews because we don't do too many interviews on the show. And he first asked me what was the best interview I ever did, and I said, without question, the USS Liberty survivor Phil Tourney. And then he said, "What would be your top?"
So there it is. It was a great interview you did with Candace, and thoughts and prayers with you. God bless you, sir. Look forward to meeting you.
No, thank you all. And by the way, Candace did the forward of my book.
Oh, right on.
Great.
Yeah. So God bless you all. It's my pleasure and honor, and we'll meet soon. Bye-bye.
And if you're suddenly buddy friends with Candace, could you let her know that we'd love to have her join our event because she's a little bit out of our reach. So
okay.
Just joking.
I'll do my very best.
All right.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Right. Well, sorry, Bob and Josh. I don't know if you still had questions for Phil. I don't know if he's cutting out, but what do you have, Bob? He's finding a mute.
Yeah. Okay. Just a little quick note. If Phil is going off already, because my ship was AGTR 4 and the Liberty was AGTR 5. I was on basically the identical twin to the Liberty, and we went into the Mediterranean and basically followed the Russian fleet around. But it was one of those off the wall things that just make mention of another sailor present here. Okay,
Yeah.
here you go.
I'm glad you made it home as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody else had their hand up and it dropped down. I missed it. Table's open. If anybody else has any new 9/11 news, strategy, and activism, I realize we spent some time on the USS Liberty, but it's not every day you get Phil Tourney to come pop in.
That we just had the anniversary.
Thank you, Carl, for making that happen.
Yeah. The anniversary just happened, and it is a big thing, and they all interconnect. And yeah, and
Boy, they connect.
And he'll be at our event. So
yes. It was Joshua. Joshua, go ahead.
Tuesday of this week, I participated in a interview with John Kiriakou that Covert Action magazine conducted. So John Kiriakou is looking for a presidential pardon, and he was talking about his experiences. And I was able to ask him through the chat a couple of questions. One was about the supposed illegal CIA operation on U.S. soil to monitor and flip Hazmi and Midar. Kiriakou talked about the failure of the FBI and CIA had systems issues where they couldn't communicate with each other. However, that answer is not 100% correct. There were processes and systems in place for the CIA and FBI to transmit information to each other. For example, the CIA could submit a central intelligence report to the FBI and other agencies in the government. Furthermore, there were a lot of in-person meetings between FBI and CIA officials that took place where there was an opportunity to pass along the presence and visas of two of the alleged hijackers. And then the second thing is I came up with was I asked John if he had reached out to Mark Rossini. Mark Rossini is another whistleblower. He was with the FBI. He was also detailed to the CIA Alex station. Earlier this year, Rossini received a presidential pardon from Trump.
Oh, wow.
And Kiriakou said he hadn't thought of that and was very thankful. And then after the call, I emailed Kiriakou Mark Rossini's email address, and I got that through the Boston 9/11 Truth meeting that Rossini presented at. So it was very helpful that Boston 9/11 Truth had Rossini on, and through that I was able to assist Kiriakou.
Very cool.
So I think 9/11 Truth is supportive of Kiriakou's attempt to get a pardon.
Absolutely.
Even if, for example, I have some disagreements with him regarding 9/11, I do think what he did was heroic.
Nice. Thank you for doing that. We'll keep an eye on Covert Action Magazine's YouTube channel. I see they have the trailer for that, or the announcement for the live podcast, but the live podcast isn't up yet. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully your question, although it was in chat, hopefully they recorded him answering it. Thank you, Josh, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Al.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to ask Phil, how up to date is he with 9/11 Truth? Is he an advocate for any of our positions, or have anybody talked to him about it?
I'm pretty sure he's on board with us.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right. No, it is what he said that, I mean, he said it very openly, and he interviewed Richard on his own podcast.
I didn't know
and
that.
he admitted that all of these events interconnect, and he's absolutely on. Well, he's speaking at our conference. Of course he's on board.
Anything else, Al?
Oh, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? New 9/11 news? Anything they want the group to know about?
Ideas, initiatives, things happening in your backyard.
Boston 9/11 Truth. Who's coming up next on your interviews? Sue? That's you.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, Fran Shore on this Thursday. And then the following Thursday, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, Paul Delorius. And then we're running into July 4th. Our group is going to be on the Esplanade in Boston, handing out 9/11 Truth literature for the 250th anniversary. And then on July 9th, we're going to have Lawrence Fine do his 9/11 synthesis presentation.
All right. Thank you, Sue.
And you have Marty Hopper too, right, with Fran?
Yes, Marty
Okay.
Hopper is going to be with Fran. She said it will be Fran's presentation. She's just there to support.
Gotcha.
Excellent. And before I go to the next hand, I did find, I'll put this in the show notes with Phil Tourney, for two interviews between Phil and Richard Gage. One happened in, I'm hoping maybe these are two different ones. One's in 2014 and one's in 2017. They're both showing February 22nd, though. But check in to see if they're the same one or if they're two different interviews. I don't suppose you recall, Richard, whether you did one or two with Phil?
I don't remember.
Okay.
What?
It was 12 years ago.
Out of the thousands
Right.
interviews you did, you don't remember every single one?
So, very good. I'll put that in the show notes. Al, your hand back up?
No, I think you never took it down.
Okay. And Mike Cook.
Hey.
Hey.
As we approach the anniversary here,
I encourage everybody to get out information to their local firefighters. Most all of them are unionized. I think maybe all of them are. And they have addresses you can just, send to a PO box or go in person if you feel comfortable with that, and just put the information before them. I've had it sitting there for months since we first started this thing with what was the congressman's name?
Kurt Weldon?
Weldon, yes. And I've held off on it until we get closer to the anniversary. It seems to be important. So just reach out to your local fire departments and send it to their unions, and go there in person. I always put in personal contact information. If they want to get a hold of me, they can.
Nice. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I will say this, for the anniversary, I reached out to some New Yorkers who, were activists, are still partially activists, maybe not as committed anymore, to help us promote the event, because if nobody knows about it, nobody's coming. But that doesn't mean that the people who are not in New York can't participate in that. And I think if we, create a flyer, it could be a paper flyer that you can print, or it could be just an email format. All of you guys can participate in that and raising awareness, and because they can watch the live stream. The live stream itself is free. We, are going to have to rely on donations because it's free for them, but it's not free for us. So we're going to have to cover that eventually. But yeah, I am counting on everybody to do their part to let everyone know that this conference is taking place and that they can watch from wherever they are.
It would be really good to let as many people know as possible that the movement is still alive.
Absolutely.
And 25th anniversary, and you guys are going all out, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I don't want to say we're still alive. I want to say we're in pretty damn good shape. Like, we've never, if you had told me 2 years ago that we'd be having some of the names that we have, I would have not believed you. It's
amazing, isn't it?
It really is amazing. And when you have that ability to kind of like flash back to a time when your reality wasn't your reality yet, and you get presented with that reality, like a fortune teller telling you this is going to be happening, you'd be like, get out of here, right? And then there it is, and it's your new normal, and it shows you what's possible, and you're just at why the heck not? Just shoot for the stars, right?
I saw Roger Waters 3 times in Pittsburgh concert. Love the guy, love Pink Floyd. To be able to shake his hand is going to be just unbelievable to see him supporting.
Yeah, and you actually shouted something. Oh yeah, I know you. I think you just shouted a thank you or something, but your voice just rang through the arena.
I have a voice that can echo pretty loud from my military days. So when the concert's over and there's a little bit of lull, I'll yell "thank you" really loud, and he had gave an affirmation that he had heard me.
I did the same thing at the Trump rally with JFK. What was it?
The Trump. That was the second Trump rally in Butler. Yelled Trump for JFK, RFK, and 9/11 truth.
Like really loud.
Really loud. And 5 people turned around and looked at me, and one lady was like, "Gene, 9/11, Gene, you rock." And I'm like, how do they know who I am? That's hilarious. But anyways, I just thank you all for what we're doing here. Does anybody have any 9/11 truth stories of activism? Maybe somebody they came across, a coworker, somebody in public, something that just a short story of anything that happened in the past week that we might all benefit from. Anybody think anything? If not, that's all right.
I regularly see a you can't say former Marine. Once you're a Marine, you're a Marine. He is a retired Marine, and I've worn my firefighter shirt up there a few times, and he is kind of not happy with me.
I continue.
Sorry.
That's good. I continue when I get gas. I leave the business card in the credit card slot and slap a sticker on one of the posts and just something.
Yeah, I left a couple
Building 7 placards on some vehicles too in the parking garage.
Nice.
Things were going on, just stick them under the windshield.
Yep. I finally put in the mail all the junk mail that you got that says no postage necessary. That's where you stick a flyer in it and you send it back to them. So any little thing,
And they have to pay for it.
Yep. Well, heck, I wouldn't mind a short one. So, unless anybody else has anything else, we'll go around the room. Hearing nothing, let's do it.
Wow.
Brian, good. Anything for the group? Joseph, Princiota.
I put up what I'm interested in
silently
throughout my presentation, and I have some interesting facts about 86, but that's political. May I go further and just explain these numbers?
Sure.
Not politically, just
Sure.
mathematically. Just mathematically, we'll take the numbers, and for the sake of we'll add the numbers up, and by golly, they'll come to 25, and we should remember there's the 25th Amendment.
There it is. All right. I thought, are we going numerology? No, but that was funny. Thank you, sir. That was good.
I thought it would bring a smile. Thank you.
Very good. Thank
Yeah.
you. JB, anything for the group?
Yes. And as Michael mentioned earlier, I do ask everyone to visit the firefighters for 9/11 Truth. Your meaningful contributions always help put out such major fires. For more info, 911firefighters.org. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I was trying to get there while you were still talking. I was a little bit slow, but yes, 911firefighters.org. Thank you, JB, for the shout out for those guys. Paul Cayley, Eric Lawyer, Raul Angulo, and Richard's also helping them out as well. So fantastic. Thank you. Who's next in the stack? We have Sonny. Anything for the group? Oh, you're unmuted, but we're not hearing you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the button on your... No, that's not it either. We'll come back. If I hear your voice, all of a sudden we'll come back to you. Bob, anything for the group?
Just fine. I just tuned in to see the presentation by the USS Liberty survivor, and I saw what I came to see.
Aye. Booyah. Thank you. Jane?
No, thanks. I'm good for now.
Thanks, Jane. Magnus, Mr. Norway, anything for the group?
Sorry, Gene, for not having any videos for you today, and thank you for hosting, Mr. Phil. I'm not familiar with the guy you hosted here today, and thank you, Richard Gage, for all the work too, and support 911c2c.org and 911firefighters.org. Thank you to everyone, and keep up
Thank
the
you,
great work.
Magnus. And tell us what you do in your personal life.
Oh, I'm actually, I'm trying to play some music and find some firefighters for you, and that's it. I'm looking for videos for you every day, Richard Gage. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. You have a job or something?
No longer, not after COVID. So I'm just looking for videos for you, actually.
Oh boy. Hopefully you're still making ends meet.
What kind of music do you play?
Rock. I'm the first one with this ventilator too to have the Hammond organ sound that the old Deep Purple had in their organs. So when you're hearing people with organs, they don't have the spring reverb or a real Leslie simulator or anything cool. So I'm playing a lot of strange music, from everything from rock to electronics and everything. I have a lot of I don't know if you can see.
Oh, wow.
anything, but
Yeah.
All right.
Glad I asked.
We're going to have to see a video for that in the future, Magnus. So Yeah, we'll be looking forward. Thank you for joining. And
Thank you
like,
for letting me be here.
oh, absolutely. And also, Magnus was plugging 9/11 crime scene to courtroom. You get a 911 C2C, which Richard is getting wrapped up with episode 6. Richard, any comment on that?
Yeah, what we've done is added into these episodes links, real live links that you can click, which pauses the video and goes to that particular witness or that particular document.
Wow.
And these are strewn now throughout the episodes. So that's what's taking a lot of time now, because with episode 6, which we're working on, I've kind of finished most 99% of it, but Steph has more work to do putting these interactive links in. So there's a lot of additional information, research you can do. For instance, the active thermitic materials paper, those kinds of links. And when when reference is made to them, you can click on them and just pauses the video, so you can come right back to the video and continue where you left off.
So they're retroactive. Those videos are re-uploaded with that in it now?
Yes.
Oh, all right. That's excellent.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'm looking
anywhere. Like,
never
mind here.
You have to access them through our website, and you have to, for instance, go to episode 2, which is stocked full of links, because I tell the grand jury about all the other resources that they have access to. You see in the lower left, there's a transparent button. Not only, well, is there a transparent button in the lower left?
I don't. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Click that one. And there you go.
Oh.
So what you can see here is links. Oh, those are all the links throughout the document, and you can pick any of them at any time by clicking that semi-transparent button in the lower left. And then they appear and occur throughout the episode, as like there. That click on that exhibit, which is
nice.
Is or will be an exhibit that'll be given to the grand jury as part of the exhibits that the lawyers committee have put together in their petition for a grand jury investigation.
That's great.
I mean, I just didn't even know that this was possible at all. Never mind in your clips. I had no idea. Do you think, is it intuitive? Are people going to know that if they click on that they're actually going to go to the source of what you're referencing?
Well, see that little orange sign down below? It says, what does it say?
Exhibits?
Okay, exhibits.
You open that. So, but
there's
before
supposed
you
to be a
open,
little orange sign that says "click here."
Yeah, click here.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
wow.
one.
Whoops, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, as it pops up. Oh, very, very, very cool. There's a lot here now. That opened up a million rabbit trails.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Richard, for the group?
No.
Thank you much for being here.
Thank you.
Anything else, Serpa? She's finding the mute. There it is.
Yeah. No, nothing else. I guess that's all.
Thank you. Let me try back to Sunny. Get your microphone working, Sunny.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, good. No, I just wanted to say, just in case, well, there are some people on this group who are also on the one that is the deep state crimes, and I did a presentation for them about some research that I had done into Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 1771, because there are many things in common with that supposed crash and Flight 93. And I say supposed because I did tons of FOIAs and actually called people who were involved in the event, and I've shown that it was a fake. There wasn't any crash there, and yet that is an event that people who believe there was a real plane crash at Flight 93 always point to, because they say, oh, here's an airplane that turned into complete just little kibble on the hillside, but it didn't. So anyway, I'll send a link to that. It's my blog is called therealcolorado.org. And unfortunately, my presentation to the group, I couldn't open PDFs, even though they worked for me when I did my PowerPoint presentation. It didn't work on Zoom, and so people didn't see many of the documents, but the documents are there. And as I mentioned, like the engines that were the serial numbers of engines that they said belonged to the flight. And mind you, that NTSB never even published its report on this so-called crash, but I got draft reports with a lot of crossouts, and they used registration numbers that in fact didn't line up with a mortgage for this particular plane that I found in the FAA's records, which listed those registration numbers, and they are different. That's, I think, the strongest piece of evidence that that was a fake, but there's others. Anyway, I'll send this. My blog is therealcolorado.org, and so
just a heads up, Sonny, I was trying to get to the site and I couldn't, so I went to the search engine, therealcolorado.org, and when you click on it, the website seems to be broken.
Well, no, that was the case 2 days ago. They
try this again. The Real Colorado.
Anymore.
No.
Well, Sonny's
now,
flipping
did you just go there now? Because it should be fine now.
No, yeah, I'm going right now, and
Yeah, we're just pulling it up as you were speaking.
Well, that's very troubling. I've had problems with Google not bringing my blog up at all, so maybe that's the same deal. Well, thank you for letting me know, because it appears for me. So that's another
interesting. All right.
Yeah, they don't like.
What happens if you go to the
research.
Wayback Machine?
But she did. There was oh wait, that wasn't it. I just had it. Sonny Menard on.
Actually, do therealcolorado.org. Is that what you did?
Tried that. Yeah, I went
well,
there.
Well, damn it, that is so annoying. Sorry, excuse
all
my
good,
French.
all good.
Anyway,
it's
okay.
Cindy.
I
just want to let you know that I got it. It went right there.
You did.
Okay, then it might be Comcast or Verizon giving me problems.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, but go to my blog, because all the links are to the source documents, which I wasn't able to show in the Deep State Crimes Conference. So anyway, I just wanted to remove that piece of argument that Flight 93 proponents always make, that, oh, here's this other crash where there's nothing left of the airplane. Well, it's not a real crash. So it is not. 93 is fake, because it doesn't have any plane parts.
Yep.
There's nothing left.
So it might be your browser.
Okay, that's really wild. So she can get onto it next to me on her computer, and I can't get to it on my computer. So evidently my computer is not liking.
Well, I don't know what to do.
That's wild.
Could it be your browser?
And somebody says, Brian Good says he got a danger message from Avast on Real Colorado.
Oh, that might be. It might be Brave blocking it, because you might be on a blacklist.
I'm on a blacklist. Oh, for heaven's sake!
I've been there.
You say something that the deep state doesn't like, and that's the end of your web presence. That's what I know. Okay, well, thank you. I'll see what I can do, if anything.
Hang on one second. I'm going to try a different browser. See if that worked. realcolorado.org. Threat secured. Prevented your connection because it's a dangerous domain. Yeah, it's on a blacklist. Let me share what I get from my web.
Do you have any hints or any suggestions about how to get off a blacklist? Who's blacklist?
If I find out, I will send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see here. Continue to HT. I'm going to press my luck.
I mean, it's safe. I guarantee it's not going to. At least I haven't done anything.
Wow, unable to connect. It just absolutely won't let me go.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But yet others can. So I don't know why.
It's because of. I don't know. Anyways, we'll get to the bottom of that. We'll connect.
I'm glad I brought it up to find that out. Thank you.
No kidding.
Next in the list, Joshua. Anything for the group?
Recently, it was the anniversary of the RFK assassination, and what I find very interesting to me is that the autopsy shows that RFK was shot at point blank range, right behind his head. Yep. But however, they at the time decided that the sole assassin was the person who was standing
4 feet,
at least a couple of feet in front. So that doesn't make sense to me. That the assassination was years before I was born, And it just doesn't make sense to me why so many people just assumed that it was just Sirhan.
Yep.
And when he didn't fire any fatal shots at RFK Sr. It doesn't make sense to me. It was before my time, but it's just something I've been thinking about a lot this week.
Yep. Thane Eugene Caesar. There was a security guard that was back to RFK's right, and the lethal shot was by Cyril Wecht, said to have caused muzzle flash burns. And the only way you're getting a muzzle flash burn is when that gun is within a couple inches of the person, and the only person in proximity also had his tie ripped off of him, and that was Thane Eugene Caesar. There was an open mic that recorded 14 shots, but Sirhan's revolver only held 8 shots. So somebody else was making shots. But anyways, we're getting into other realms. Thank you, Joshua, for that.
Thank you, Dean.
Carl, you got your hand up. We'll go to you next.
Yes, pardon my dropping off the call. My phone was ringing. It was Phil, and he somewhat clarified. He was chastising me for having, instead of just teeing him up to explain what Massey asked about 9/11, and my response, that's what he meant by I went on too long explaining in detail rather than letting him explain. So we've discussed, and I've promised when given a speaking role up in New York and a time limit, I will keep things concise, on point, and not just say that certain people as a whole are responsible, that it's certain select leaders of such communities. But anyway, with Massey, that was sort of remarkable that he brought up 9/11 in the midst of the Liberty event, and that he said specifically the 19 hijackers, as if he still believes the 19 had something to do with it. So actually, Rob, their camera videographer for the Liberty crew, interviewed me for a few minutes out in the hallway, and I'm hoping they'll be willing to combine those two clips. They're totally unrelated to the Liberty story. I did put in chat a photo. Massey took us all out for lunch afterwards at a local restaurant named Bull Feathers.
Wow.
And yeah, he picked up the tab, beer and everything. He's a real gentleman. Let's see. Also, well, I did meet, I saw Ron Johnston again on 2 occasions on the 10th. There were multiple children's health defense events during the day, and I was on their VIP invite list because I've donated to them in the past and been to their conferences. And I actually had very amicable, I kept it brief because I didn't want to draw him away from the purpose he was there for. But I did hand him directly his copy of Boleyn's Solving 9/11. He then handed the envelope to Joshua, his staffer, who I know, which is the typical, as necessary. He doesn't want to be carrying around things, as he's actually, Mary Holland is in the picture. She's in the maroon right there. I was actually speaking with Mary Holland about how Massey would be a good person for them to work with, as Senator Johnson walked up, and as I spoke, I then took off the Liberty hat for the evening event when we got our very pleasant selfie. But I think very importantly in my conversation with him, I got the clear understanding that he does not mean for a group of 5 to censor, to limit what the broader community has to provide. And I expressed to him the intent to submit a declaration or an affidavit because I believe there's indications that the Boleyn's perspective is likely to be minimized. I have actually just started reading his 2 volumes of the original articles, which go way beyond 9/11 into the broader context.
Yep.
And I'll probably deliver those to Senator Johnson as well. So I did also put in chat the video I took as Phil and I went up to the Israeli embassy. I need to redo it, and music to the background would be better. Bad to the Bone, I think, would be appropriate as Phil is approaching the Israeli embassy. But
Nice.
that could probably be played on double speed or 1.5 speed up to the point where he's actually reading the demand for the life raft return in front of the embassy, which is sort of a poignant moment. So it's.
I'll leave it to the folks to check it out on their own. It's in the
Well,
chat
actually,
there.
by the way, in inviting Phil, I pointed out to him that when we made a lot of progress because at the event that Mark Crispin Miller was at back in about 2018, and I sought to raise the issue that the Liberty situation was circumstantial evidence useful in understanding 9/11. And Sandra Hicks actually denounced me as an anti-Semite in the midst of the whole crowd for raising it. And later, Richard actually, spoke negatively to me about having brought it up. And actually, Richard's close friend, Richard Squires, went apoplectic on me for having brought up the Liberty, which I found very, very interesting. I saw Squires at an event in D.C. at the press club some months after that. It was almost as if he was trying to curse me in the Old Testament sense, and I just, reacted calmly, and it didn't have any effect on me what he was trying to do. So we made a lot of progress, and now, I mentioned months ago that I thought it was appropriate, essential to align ourselves with the Liberty because those guys are in their 80s. There's not much time left, and they are the key witnesses of false flag terrorism in a very tangible means. I pointed out to Phil that a few weeks ago I was not allowed to show the 23-second clip of him in the elevator with Massey because it was, Regine, you deemed it off topic and not on 9/11. And yet, as we've discussed today, the Liberty is very much on topic with 9/11. So we've made progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing him on board to the show today. And it looks fantastic. We're going to be hearing from him on this 25th anniversary of 9/11. Thanks again, Carl, for that.
Thank you. And I look forward to my invite for 5 or 10 minutes. I am the only person who personally was involved in sifting the rubble of 7 and had a non-disclosure agreement imposed upon me. I think this is relevant information because of all the many other people sifting rubble who were, I've no doubt, had non-disclosure agreements imposed upon them. So please arrange it. Thank you.
Craig, anything for the group? And I know you wanted to get to what Richard said last week, but now we're at the end of this. Wait, where'd he go?
Well, he's still there, but I think he also said that he was driving to Toronto or from Toronto
okay.
or something.
We'll have to get that one
That he
next
might
time.
be in the car.
Susie, if you're still here, Bonham Craig, anything for the group?
Yes. Oh, what an honor to listen to Phil. I really hadn't expected that.
Me either.
I wasn't here last week.
We didn't get the memo.
But thank you for doing that. I'll also just want to thank Richard for allowing some of us to review episode 6 and put in comments and suggestions. I appreciated being involved with that, and I can't wait for it to come out. And that's really cool about the links.
Yep. Very good.
Thanks, Susie.
And Richard, do you still need input on the last one? Because we're still running after time trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Oh, section 4.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's still time too.
Okay. All right. Duly noted.
A few days.
Okay.
Thanks.
Episode 6, section 4, and the USS Liberty, remembering Liberty. All right, sacrificing Liberty.
And 2 episodes of Candace.
And 2 episodes of Candace. All right. Andrew, I don't think you have a mic yet, but thank you for joining. He has been going on with Mark Conlon on X. I got to hand it. Andrew Mason knows a lot about the planes, the aircrafts, the technology behind communicating with aircrafts, and he's not given Mark an inch. And it's enlightening. There's a lot there, and thank you, Andrew, for continuing that.
Can you recap?
I can't because it's way over my head. But one of the big ones. Okay, I'll try to make this. This is my layman, and Andrew, pardon me as I make this way oversimplified. The ACARS data, Mark Conlon will sit there and say that those planes were still flying in the air. Well, ACARS, there's an uplink and a downlink. And the uplink happened, but there wasn't ever a downlink. And the uplink happened and continued to happen after the crash.
Supposed crash.
The alleged crash. Well, you could say that, I guess. But because the uplink went doesn't necessarily mean that the plane still exists. So Mark is saying, well, the uplink happened, so the plane still exists. And Andrew's trying to show him that no, that you can basically make a calling out, Marco, but the thing doesn't ever have to exist to be able to reply polo, if you will.
It's kind of like a cell phone, I guess. If you're calling a phone number that, even if the guy's phone is off or something like that, it's still going to ring.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good. I think I made that right. You can correct me, Andrew, in chat.
So, Andrew, if this isn't your motivation to get a mic for next week,
yeah, we need you
so that you can set the record straight, I don't know what is.
Yep.
The thing with this electronic stuff is they can do whatever they want.
That is true.
They can hack whatever, they pick up the phone. It sounds like one person. It's actually somebody else. All kinds of things.
Susie, you put your hand back up?
Yes, I just wanted to ask Sunny, since I was able to get to your website, curious what the reference to Colorado is. Are you in Colorado? And if you are, I'd love to get in contact with you.
Are you in Colorado?
I
Yes,
am.
I'm no longer there, but I was for something like 30 something years. And I actually attended Fran's group in Denver for a little while, but then I moved. I was an attorney there, and I was an attorney general candidate for the Green Party in 2002. And I also worked for the geophysical industry before I became a lawyer. So that's my background. But they went after me. I exposed corruption. I was primarily a water lawyer, and they've never stopped going after me. I've just been fighting crap from the disciplinary authorities who just trump stuff up. I haven't even lived there. I live now in San Antonio. I haven't lived there since 2011, and they're still going after me, but I'm going after them too.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
But the courts are corrupt. You don't get anywhere in the courts. And that's, like I haven't visited Richard's crime scene to courtroom stuff because I have such a strong negative, feeling about anything to do with courts, even though I'm still involved in them. You just get dismissed. It's, and I've got a theory about that, but I won't go into it at the moment.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And that's kind of odd because that's when I arrived in Colorado, was 2011.
Oh, I see.
From New Jersey.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Well, I'm going to be going through your website. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Good luck to you.
Susie, you do know that there's a Colorado for 9/11 Truth, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been a member of Fran's team since.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. I just
2010, I think. Yeah.
I wanted to check off that box.
Sonny, I'm going to I've replied to your comment in
Oh, good. Okay.
where Andrew's posting his rejoinder to Conlon. I posted Mark Conlon's. There you go. There he goes. He just said he'll send you a link because I sent you a link to his replies, which he replies a lot to a lot of different people. One, Adam Fitzgerald, a gentleman that goes by the name Once Upon a Time Redacted, which we now know is Victor Andrews.
Oh, Stephen Victor
Andrews, which is also a made-up name, but he's not afraid to take somebody to task in very lengthy conversations.
Well, I've been receiving recently Mark Conlon's emails, and I find that they make sense. So, but I haven't read Andrew's comments, so I will do that.
10-4. Thank you. Mike Figa.
Yeah, sorry. Were you guys discussing the due emails? I just caught the tail of that, and I'm not even sure if that's what you were talking about.
No, it was a conversation between Andrew Mason and Mark Conlon on X. They're discussing the flights.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. Yeah, but I just heard about it. To let people know, I don't know what you guys do about it, but it happened to me back in the day with this Emmanuel Goldstein made-up person trying to promote Judy Wood, and it seems like the new whatever that I don't know their names, so I don't really follow the do stuff, but he's sending a large email, and I think he put Ron Johnson on the email.
Yes,
it's intentional. They did it to me. Of course, they're emailing me, I guess, and Fetzer, and they put Chomsky on it and other peace activists. Now, Chomsky was a piece of shit, and I knew that back then, so that was kind of fun because I already had called him out in public many times. And my friend used to call them out in many articles and letters. So it was kind of fun. It's fun that now people know Chomsky was not quite doing the right thing, even though it was in our face. Sorry, little rant there. Yeah, but sorry. I guess I don't know what to do. I guess try not to reply. What I try to do is just like, don't reply all or don't even reply. And yeah, that's all I can do.
That's Andrew also talked about Norman, aka 9/11 revisionist, and his MO and how they do that kind of stuff, and they poison the well.
Exactly. It's in your face, well poison. Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's great that you have all these emails, and thank you for making us look stupid.
Sandra was starting to read it to me, and I'm like, I don't even want to hear it. All of Norman Swanepoel's emails go right to my trash. I don't even see them. So
it went to my trash too, but then Mick replied to disassociate himself from that, and I got Mick's reply, which is how I saw.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, so sucks, I guess. Hey, but they're doing it. I mean, there's other shit going on even in my life. It's fun. All right, then cool. That's it. Sorry.
Be well, thank you.
I just to say this, I'm always amazed that people think that they can write an email that's the equivalent of 10 pages with like a dozen links and CC like another dozen people and think that that's going to have an effect.
Yeah.
Because most people, if they get any kind of long email like that, they're just gonna, the eyes are just gonna glaze over.
Yeah.
They're either gonna delete or they're gonna say, I'll watch it later and I'll read it later, and it's gonna keep dropping in the most recent emails. No, it's totally ineffective, and there are people out there who do this incessantly.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that they really believe that it works. Like,
yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Ross. I think that'll be wrapping it up with Ross.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry I've been away, so I've been a bit late to the meeting tonight, but will say that I was on the site of what I will officially announce now to everybody as the Twin Towers World Truth Center, which is a piece of land that I bought. It will become that, which I just expressed, and it's got a great visual identity to the community, to the world at large, and
Whoop, you cut out there. Ross, you still there?
we're not hearing you.
Well, Sandra, anything for the group?
Just a reminder that we're not really sure how the call is going to go next week. We're going to be attempting to do it from across the pond in a different time zone, and we're not sure on what device. So if we do have a call, and by the way, my apologies. When I sent out the invite for today, I just realized, because what I normally do is I put Gene in the 2 in the, recipient, and then I BCC the 150 names, and I forgot to
No, you
paste.
sent it to me.
I sent it only to Gene, and none of the other names were.
But you guys shouldn't need that email every week.
Yeah.
Just go to 911warroom.com and
You should
hit enter.
But at the same time, I was saying we had an exciting announcement, and that totally went over. Yeah. Anyways, so next week, just who knows.
I got 2 hands up. One I forgot to get Al and Joseph. Joseph, what do you got?
Just if you have the same password number to this, I notice it's the same Zoom meeting, and each time if I click on my Zoom to join you, it asks for the password. Are we privileged enough that you would give us the password, or is it that you change it for each meeting?
No, actually, you should just be able to go. Let me show you guys.
There is no
There's
password,
no password.
at all.
There shouldn't be.
I got a request for
Really?
Well,
It should be just as easy as this for everyone. You should just be able to go to 911warroom.com, and there is a button up here at the top.
absolutely. That one goes right through because you've programmed it to give. I'm going to you in my memory Zoom workspace, memory, boom, boom, boom. Oh, here's the 911 group number, and the number never changes.
Right.
And it gets me to your page, but I get a wall.
Well, if you do, on this page, there's the meeting ID and the passcode is 911, super secret. So
So underneath the last
86-year-old eyes.
All good. I'll throw that in the chat right now.
That's good.
Here we go. If anybody needs it, there's the meeting ID and passcode. Thank you, Joseph.
Al.
Thank you.
Al? Sorry, I forgot you, Al, there.
Yeah. Forgive me, but what is Massey's take on 9/11? I'm confused.
Well, we met him in the hall in the Rayburn building, I think it
Last
was.
September, yeah.
And he was open to hearing what we had. He and Madhava Setty, both MIT graduates, had a long conversation. I think he was open to it.
Well, he's been vocal about the 28 pages.
Yes, he actually just made an X post about the 28 pages that I forgot to share with you guys.
That's basically what he has publicly stated. When we spoke to him, he kind of just nodded, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But obviously he's got a lot of fish to fry. And
what he said in his office when I was there with all the Liberty survivors, he referenced the 19 hijackers as if it was really 19. He actually said 19 Saudis, and then he referenced the 28 pages as validating that, yeah, the Saudi government was behind 9/11 and the Saudi hijackers. And I actually had a conversation with both Massey and his chief of staff, Matt. I forgot his last name right now. It starts with a G. That I think Thomas is very impressed with how he has access to a secure, intel computer system, intelligence agency system to view documents. And I posited to them that, the intelligence entities might just feed him bullshit to persuade him to believe what they want him to believe. So I don't know what else he might have seen beyond the 28 pages, but the 28 pages do not seem overwhelming. They seem something easily that could have been contrived as a means of setting the Saudis up as patsies in a sense. And I mentioned just to Phil on the call, and also to Massey's chief of staff, maybe that's leverage that the U.S. has held over the Saudis if they fell away from the petrodollar agreement, that they would get tagged as responsible for 9/11. A way to keep them on the petrodollar system.
I will also put the link in the show notes. This is somebody had posted it for Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey confirms Washington intentionally hid 28 pages of the 9/11 report. He reveals Saudi officials and spies directly helped the alleged hijackers. So it's a 1-minute clip, but I will share that in the show notes as well.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I mean, there are a lot of people out there who tread very cautiously, including Tucker. He did a whole 5-part series, but everything he focused on was the intelligence failures, mostly. I mean, he did touch on controlled demolition a little bit, but it was mostly that, 4 out of 5, I'd say. And we all had wished that he'd gone further, but I think these kinds of people know what the limits are and how far they can go at this point in time.
With their base.
No, but that's how the can gets kicked down the road at the 25th anniversary, just like with the JFK assassination. I mean, it's 60 years later that we're finally talking about the nuclear technology to Israel and all of that. So if we're not willing to say explosives and pre-position in the 3 towers indicate that, well, sophisticated people, intelligence, military people planted those, and with the intention not that they were going to take responsibility, but they were going to blame it on the people that, allies and us want to make war on. So by definition, a false flag event. And that's where it's essential to lead with that message. 9/11 was a false flag event.
Thank you. Al, anything else?
Well, Massey has nothing to lose. I mean, he's not going to be around in 7 months.
Exactly.
You'd think that he could, talk it up. If anybody could approach him, I would think he'd be a good mark for us.
I'm hoping we could still invite him to the talk, and there's always Massey 2028. Just saying.
Yes, it is. But,
and frankly, as much as I'd love for Massey to talk about 9/11, but if he could just get the Epstein files going, that would be amazing.
Yeah. He was the one that introduced the Epstein transparency file, and Epstein file transparency Act. Correct.
Yeah, so put all his eggs in one basket, let him do that, and others can take care of 9/11.
Thank you all. Let me go back to Joseph.
Very briefly, there are Zionists. There are people who believe in the Jewish faith and are Jews. There is Israel as a state. There are people who live in Israel who are not of the Jewish faith.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep them separate when we talk about who's responsible for the bullets that hit the Liberty.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I often say there's a great evil. I will say there's an evil that's hiding behind a people, place, and religion. And yeah. Anyway, Carl, one last comment, and then we're cutting out.
Well, a couple of comments. I just got a text from Phil asking me to let everybody know he's on Alex Jones tomorrow at noon.
Nice.
If anybody wants to take that in. And if we're still on, I'll put in chat author Laurent Guilleneau, who wrote, he's actually really a biblical historian, but he also wrote the best JFK book, The Unspoken Kennedy Truth. Yep. He has just posted 2 articles about a biblical historian, I'll have to use that term again, who has done the research that says is serious, credible research documenting that the first compilation of the Hebrew Bible occurred in Alexandria by scribes, Pharisees, using resources at the Library of Alexandria, and that demonstrably drawing from pre-existing traditions that were already of record from other regions, other religions that were there in the library, which is sort of astonishing. And the perspective was imputed to the scripture, the Hebrew Bible, was that they were before all these other religions, when in fact the stylistic writing reflects the contrary. So you can probably, he's on Substack, Laurent Guilleneau, and I'll put a link in the chat.
Thank you. All right, we're 3 months out from the 25th anniversary. So start thinking, if you're not going to New York, start thinking about what you could do in your own local area. Thank you all for being here. Sandra, do you have anything else?
Nope.
I think I got everybody. I think we're all good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have a good evening and a great week. Let's talk next time. From
Austria.
everyone.
From Austria.
We'll try.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.